These herbs, oh, it just makes me hungry.
Across planet Earth, we're running out of areas to grow food, and we're running out of fresh, clean water to feed those crops as well.
Your biggest issue here is what? Weeds? I mean, those weeds are tenacious, right? So natural plant sweetener. There we go.
The Tower Garden works indoors, it works outdoors. You can pretty much grow anywhere on planet Earth.
But what does organic mean to you guys? Know your farmer. Know where your food's coming from. Grow it yourself. You'll be healthier.
You don't have to be an expert, but you can still grow your own clean, healthy food at home.
My name is Troy Albright. I am a pharmacist and an urban farmer. We've tried to figure out, well, how can we grow our own food here in the desert? And so as we looked at different technologies, we realized water is going to be a commodity, and we investigated different ways to do it, and we decided that going vertical was way easier to do than going horizontal. So we can save 90% space by going vertical. We can use only 10% of the same amount of land, but more importantly, we're using 90 to 98% less water. As I studied my patients, it came back to the foods they were eating were affecting their health. We're seeing a lot more disease in our society because of the things we're putting in our body, on our body. So I saw a chance to change the health of my patients by providing food to them. In Minnesota, we used lots of pesticides, herbicides, fungicides to kill the weeds, to kill the bugs. And we were told that that was the only way we could do it. And now we're finding out more of that exposure to pesticides, what that's doing to us. And so there's a big push to grow organically, or the use without pesticides and herbicides and fungicides. And that's our goal, is to show people how you can do this in your own condo, your own apartment, your own house, your backyard, wherever you have 2 to 3 square feet. That's all you need. It's designed for a third grader. It's meant to be kept simple. We have a reservoir that's 20 gallons that holds the water and the mineral nutrients. The water solution contains 70 plus essential minerals and nutrients, and the only moving part is a pump. That pump pumps that water nutrient solution up to the top, and then it rains down, and it hits each port, and we get faster growth. And we can have a full head of lettuce in 21 to 26 days from a 2-inch seedling. Beautiful root structure. You can tell the quality and the health of your plant by the roots, and a beautiful bib lettuce. Chefs come into my greenhouse all the time, and they'll say, well, there's no way you can grow enough food in this 5,000 square feet for me. Or, well, how many heads of lettuce do you go through a week? Oh, 50. I go, that's one of my commercial towers. I have 320 towers at maximum production in here. So I've got, 1 tower a week for you, so that leaves 316 more towers. What else do you need? So we don't realize how much more you can grow vertically than horizontally. Look at this. Look at that beautiful pak choi. On the same tower, we're also growing some starboard kale. Again, I never really liked kale until I started growing it. This is the starboard kale. It's the sweetest of all the kale. Curly kale is another name for it. It has a lot of flavor as well. This area, we're fresh cutting for our restaurants. I mean, it's just so potent. The oregano is just incredibly potent. You'll never have E. coli on this romaine. Beautiful romaine lettuce here. Nice and crunchy, got beautiful leaves. Really, really tasty. This has become one of my favorite lettuces, the Mirror. You can just taste the freshness. Green onions, oh my gosh. Just this little piece of stevia, this is what stevia looks like, is enough to sweeten your whole smoothie. If you grow your own food, you're gonna be healthier, and that's what we're encouraging to do. You know what's been sprayed on it, you know where it's gone through, how it's been handled. That's the exciting part about growing your own food.
My name is Tim Blank. I'm the co-founder and chief technology officer for the Tower Garden Company. My degree is in horticulture, and I had the privilege of having a 12-year career with the Walt Disney World Company at the land at Epcot, and it was clear to me after having this rare opportunity to work with food crops from all over the world using every hydroponic system imaginable that the future of food was growing up instead of out. Tower gardening really gives us an opportunity to garden in many cases where we couldn't have a garden. Indoors, on your patio, in the backyard. So it's really a complement to modern gardening.
And they automatically will fit in. So if these weren't in right, they wouldn't line up here and it wouldn't snap together. As we put these sections together, we create an area where a tube that the water is going to come up through. So we've got our 4 sections that we grow 16 regular pots, and then we have 16 baby green spots here. Now we're going to put the shower cap on, and everything fits nice and tight.
With traditional agriculture, unfortunately, a lot of water is wasted. There's a lot of water going to places the plant roots aren't at, and then a lot of water is being evaporated into the environment. In the tower garden, the water is self-contained in the tower garden reservoir. So every time the tower garden waters, that water goes up, passes by the roots take the water and minerals it needs in, and whatever's left over goes right back down into the reservoir and is reused.
At maximum production, I can grow close to 20,000 living plants a month in here. The only thing we can't grow in these towers are root vegetables, tubers like potatoes, and then things like blueberries, raspberries. Those are tree-type plants.
Plants don't need soil. What they need is what's in the soil. Gases like oxygen, water, and minerals. So really the science of hydroponics and aeroponics is taking all those important minerals, get them in a clean, water-soluble format, and make them readily available to the plants. That's really the science of aeroponics.
So we're growing snap peas. Look at these snap peas here. There's tomatoes. We've got spinach growing, strawberries, peppers. There's some eggplant hanging out. Taste it all. You help yourself. Nobody eats the habaneros. Yeah, it's got a lemon flavor.
Yeah, I wonder why.
Yeah. Mint. Taste the mint. Pass that around.
What was the lemon one again?
The red vein sorrel. When the plant starts doing this, what's this?
Seeding.
It's bolting. This will be very bitter. So we've harvested from this for about 3-4 months now. So once it gets this, you give it to the chickens. Or compost it, okay? Let's walk this way. We're going to see some tomato towers. My hands are green from the chlorophyll. If you find anything on here, you're welcome to pull it off. We got different types of tomatoes. The more you get into your plant canopy and take the stuff out, the bigger your tomatoes will be. You're not going to hurt the tower if you pull off too much, but when you start eating these things, and you notice how juicy they are, I mean, when you buy them from the store, do they have juice like that?
It's like plastic.
It's because they've traveled who knows how long. Ooh, the pellet peppers are good. When you don't take care of your towers like this, they still produce, but they won't produce as big of a fruit. Oh, look at this. A red bell pepper. Who wants a red bell pepper? So there's different ways you can grow with your tower. Indoor, outdoor, grow the things you love to eat. Here's just a little sampling of all the different seedlings that we offer. You got your flowers, your fruiting crops, more of your herbs. And this is fun too.
What is it?
You'll know as soon as you taste it. What is that?
That's a stevia?
Stevia. Did you get some?
That is good.
So when you buy it in the store, it's in a liquid form or powder. There's always a bitter aftertaste. Why is that?
Processed.
Yep, they're extracting with chemicals. No, there's no bitter aftertaste, is there?
No.
A natural plant sweetener. Those are actually 9 feet tall. They're commercial. The residential will come 5 or 6 feet tall, depending on if you buy the extension or not. When you think about it, you got 32 grow spots here, so one tower can produce quite a bit of food for 2 people. The home tower is designed to where it's right there in your kitchen or right there close to your kitchen, so you can just come and harvest right off it. You always harvest from the outside and you come in. The goal is to make sure you don't let them get so big that they start going to seed. And that's one of the biggest issues I see with people that own towers, is their tower is just a big hedge. And they're like, I don't want to eat off it because it looks too pretty. You gotta harvest your produce. If you love to eat kale and lettuce and celery, grow those things. You're gonna be so much healthier than the stuff you buy in the store. Once you try it, you'll never go back. I mean, you're already a grower. You already understand the basics, how a plant grows.
This is just simple.
Yeah, it's compared to what you've done, this is easy. You're gonna be like, why isn't everybody doing this?
Take control of your food supply. Get more healthy produce. If you're growing food right in your own kitchen, you're gonna harvest it every day, right?
The food's going from the tower to your table, and I believe what Hippocrates said years ago, centuries ago, let food be medicine, and let medicine be your food. I firmly believe that. So I appreciate inviting me, Molly, to be your guest, because food's becoming more and more important as we go down this pathway. As a licensed pharmacist, you know, I like to analyze everything. And, we look at the food we've been eating, we're being exposed to lots of chemicals. And there's things in our water, there's things in our soil, all those kind of things are really creating an issue for our gut and stuff. So it's interesting to see how we can change our gut health just by the foods we're eating. So part of me trying to grow my own food, because in Minnesota we were farmers, and as farmers we love to just grow and grow, but again we didn't really worry about quality. We're just trying to get it to market as fast as possible. And with the Tower Garden, it's allowing me to actually grow good nutritionally dense food year round right there in my house, my apartment, my condo, out on the back patio. So we're excited to present this to you.
Perfect. Well, should I switch into the next slide then?
That'd be great.
Perfect. Let me see if I can get in here. There we go.
So as we're talking about, those of us that have done a lot of growing food, farming can be difficult. Even growing in a raised bed garden here in Arizona, you're fighting the weeds and different things. Let's go to the next slide here. And in my greenhouse, we're growing food year round. And as you saw in the video, we can grow up to 20,000 different plants per month. I mean, some people are like, oh, it doesn't seem like that much, but when you see it in person, it just blows you away. And so again, we can grow 3 times faster by going vertical because those roots are hanging in air. And as a result, it's getting more nutrients, more oxygen, and they grow faster. And we've had studies done by the University of Mississippi that does all the studies for the FDA as well. And they show that our food that we grow in this Tower Garden is comparable to what's actually grown in perfect organic soil that none of us have. So we know we can actually grow good nutritionally dense food. Plus, we don't have to worry about digging or weeding, and there's no reasons to bend over. A lot of us, as I come in close to this 60-year-old mark, all the backaches and things, I don't have to be bending over and turning the soil over. So we don't have to do any of that. So it's great to grow food vertically via an aeroponic system like this. Again, the food's very clean. You can taste the difference, and you'll love having it right there in your own house. Let's go to the next slide. So again, as we go down this path of sustainability, we realize that water's becoming a commodity. In some parts of the country here, especially Arizona, we're in a drought, but a lot of us don't even realize we're in a drought. Other parts of the world are experiencing the same thing. And this Tower Garden will use up to 98% less water. So it recirculates, it's in a closed system. And just think, when you start growing your own food, if 20% of us would just start growing our own food here in the US, our carbon footprint would just shrink tremendously. Think about all the plastics, all the gas, petroleum it takes to bring food to the market. I mean, typically food travels 1,500 miles to get to our plate. So do you think it has any real nutritional density? So again, we can affect just our own carbon footprint by growing our own food, and the Tower Garden will really be a big part of that. Next, please. When you look at it, we're really concerned about just everything that we're either spraying on our tower or what the tower is made of. There's a lot of knockoffs of our tower now. Our tower has gone through third-party testing to make sure we're not leaching any plastics, any chemicals into our food. Some of these companies that have made some towers that look very similar, they haven't gone through third-party testing, and those definitely will leach things into our food. So the tower's gone, and it's gone through this third-party testing. It has the UV protection, so it's not allowing light into the system. It's a great way to grow food with plastics that actually aren't going to affect our health. Next. There's different grow mediums that have been used in the hydroponic, aeroponic industry for decades. Right there on the right side, that's rock wool. There's different grades of rock wool that are used in the horticulture industry. That's what we grew with for the first 4 years, but the last 5 to 6 years, we're using the product on the left there. It's called Coco Core. It's a sustainable product that's actually made from the coconut husk, and it's a certified organic product. So along with our certified organic seeds and our seedlings, we're growing something that's a beautiful organic product. Next slide. Some people are like, can I just use the water out of my faucet? Well, that's great as long as you don't have a water softener. So at home we have a water softener. So we have to use a reverse osmosis system and take that out, or come off a spigot that's not part of that water, soft water. Distilled water can work, but we want those minerals that are in the water. And so this system is designed to work just with tap water. The problem is, depending on what part of the country you're in, it's very chlorinated. It has a lot of chemicals in it. So there's little simple filters that you can use now that are hydroponic filters that will last up to 5 years if you don't have a reverse osmosis system. So again, soft water will actually kill our plants because salt isn't good for them. So we want to look at ways to take that salt out, or if we are using chlorinated water. Next. Our mineral solution, the gentleman, Tim Blank, that you saw in the video, he's the one that developed the tower garden. You know, he worked for NASA to develop this grow solution as well. So as we go to Mars and to the moon, anything you take with you is all you have to work with. And so they determined that we should have a grow solution that has 70 plus essential minerals and nutrients. So we have a grow solution that is an A and B solution that contains all those minerals and nutrients. And so once you start growing your food with our tower garden, you can taste the difference. You know, a lot of us that have been farming for decades, as I still have cousins farming in Minnesota, do they really worry about putting something back into the field? They don't. They're just trying to grow the food as fast as possible and turn it over as fast as possible. So here you're using a grow solution, an A and B tonic solution that actually has 70 plus essential minerals and nutrients that are important for us to get on a daily basis. Next. Again, as farmers in Minnesota, we were told that anything the government approved to, as a pesticide or an herbicide, was safe. So we use thousands of gallons of DDT. Even to this day, those active metabolites are still coming out of the atmosphere. And so we know that the goal is not to use those kind of herbicides or fungicides. So we use soap and water, neem oil, something very, very simple, things that are actually made from plants. And so everything we use are actually OMRI approved or approved for organic farming. And again, you're in control of what you spray on your plants. So that's what's exciting. You're in control of the tower, the environment, everything. Next. So there's different options that I want to talk to you about growing your own food right there in your own house. Let's go to the next slide here so we can see those options. So here's the latest tower that's come out. It's called the home growing system. You've got 20 regular grow spots there. So it's about 5 feet tall. You've got 20 regular grow spots, and then you've got 16 baby green spots. Oh, it's right. There's actually 16 and 16s. You can add an extension on that, but we'll talk about that in a minute. So it's actually 16 regular grow spots and 16 baby green spots. You can see this only takes up about 20 inches wide. So basically you only need 2 square feet there. So 24 inches actually, and it comes with wheels, the light system. This is perfect for growing indoors year round. Because if you think about it, you already have your own greenhouse because you already air condition your house or your apartment or your home. And so by having a controlled environment, you have what I have in my greenhouse. So it's great to use the environment. Again, can any of us find just 2 square feet in our house to put this? I'm sure we can. Next slide.
This is the flex tower. These are the ones that you saw in my greenhouse. It also is 20 grow spots. Again, you can put an extension on it to make 28 grow spots. As you saw these in my greenhouse, we went up to 52 grow spots. So on the residential side, we typically keep it on the shorter side so people aren't getting on ladders and step stools and falling off and breaking things. But this is the original one. This is actually 30 inches wide, so 2.5 square feet in diameter. Comes with a great dolly that you can purchase along with the support cage. For those of us that are growing outdoors, this is the one we recommend because you have a bigger reservoir. This has 20 gallons of our water and nutrient solution in it. So when you're growing outdoors, especially in the heat, we need that extra water volume to help cool the system as well as maintain enough water to grow our plants, especially in the summertime. So it's a great way to grow. You can see the support cage there. So if you're wanting to grow some tomatoes and cucumbers and zucchinis and squash, that tomato cage is there for us to grow that as well. Next slide. We have different options now. We have the traditional extension set where it's just another 8 more plants there on the left, or you can add an extension set that adds 32 more baby greens. So if you're really into those baby greens, you're clipping those every 7 days, keeping them small. Or we have a combo set now where you have another 4 grow spots along with another 16 grow ports for baby greens. So we have these options. Still depend on the kind of growing that you want to do. Next slide, please. We also have a family tower garden. So some of us that, there's multiple family, 4 people or more. We have this tower garden family, and it's 3 different flex gardens. And again, we've come up with a way to make it affordable for a family where it's the same as cash and it's paid over 12 months. It's a great way to be able to get 3 towers and grow 84 different plants, fruits and vegetables, herbs in our own backyard. So this is exciting because we know if we get the kids involved in growing their own food, they're going to eat more of that food. Again, we want you to be healthier, more nutritional food that you can eat, the healthier you're going to be. Next slide. Here's our community garden. So those of us that are working and living in a community, we have the capability of buying a community garden that's 12 towers where we can grow 336 plants in these 12 tower gardens. So it's just another way for those that are thinking on a larger scale for their community, or say they have a community center. Again, there's ways to do that and making it affordable on a monthly basis. Next slide. So in my greenhouse, we have 320 towers that are 9 feet tall. So we're growing on a monthly basis a maximum output of 20,000 living plants. So some of us that are thinking even bigger, or know people that want to put a greenhouse up, or already have a greenhouse, or already have land that they want to turn into just an area where they can grow lots of food. We offer commercial farms, micro farms, different sizes, 10 towers and up. So let's go to the next slide here so we can see some examples. Next slide, Molly. This just shows you the different types of heights. You can go 5 to 7 pots there on the left. That's basically 6 feet tall. Or you can go 9 pots, 11 pots, or in my greenhouse, there are actually 52 plants high, or 13 pots. So again, on the commercial level, we have many different options based on what, either the building, the facility that we're growing in, or where we're growing. Sometimes we're growing on rooftops. There's so many different options on the patio, greenhouses, warehouses. So it's exciting to have many, many different options available when it comes to growing commercially. Next slide. Our goal is to grow nutritionally dense food. And when you think about it, you're saving money, you're saving time, you're not going to the grocery store, you're growing food that doesn't have any pesticides or herbicides or fungicides on it. We realize that food's becoming a commodity too. We see food prices going up along with gas prices, I mean, everything's going up. What hasn't gone up? So growing your own food is going to really help you save money in the long run, as well as your carbon footprint. And we offer lots of different resources here. So when you buy a tower through Molly and Jean, you're going to see that we have a lot of support for you, resources, videos. And our goal is to help you grow food, be there, help you maintain your towers if we need to, bring teams in and service your tower. I mean, our goal is to figure out how we can do that, as well as providing seedlings. So there's lots of resources available. So the goal is we don't want you just to buy something and then you don't know how to use it. I offer classes. There's classes that you can come into. Heck, maybe we can even figure out a way in some of the different centers that Jean's involved with. Maybe we bring the classes to you where we have enough people there. We bring the class to you, or those that are able to come to my facility here in Arizona, in Mesa, Arizona. You'll see, get to see the tower gardens in action as well as the greenhouse. So depending on what we're trying to do, our goal is to support you as you grow your own food. Next slide. So if you're interested, make sure you contact Molly here. I mean, we want you to be able to do this right there in your own backyard, in your own house, your own condo, your own apartment. Yeah, they're family homes. You'll taste the difference. So we're excited about that. We're offering, 25% off on seedlings when you buy towers through Molly and Jean here. So we're excited to be part of that, and we look forward to working with you.